Hello, how's everybody doing? Welcome to December 9th. Had to look at my calendar there for a minute. Been going, actually, I've been up all night, been working. So, hopefully, everybody's doing well. I'm going to ask everybody to tell me where they're tuning in from in the comments. Let's see if I got the restream chat option thing to work a little better this time. And while that's going on, I'm doing the settings for Zoom here. So, we'll have a link to go to in a second. And then let's pull up our topics for the day. Where's that at? There she is. All right. And uh, today we're going to talk about kind of a recap. It's middle of the week. I mean, this is hump day. It's a prime time for making phone calls and getting after it, making sure that you're doing everything you need to do to be in client acquisition mode, full blown, right? That's where everybody should be. If you're not there, don't feel bad about it. Just get moving, right? Just get your ass moving. That's the main thing. Keep moving. That's also another. I'd say maybe just as important as getting moving is to stay moving, right? Objects that tend to stand still for too long tend to grow roots, and then roots can be hard to uproot, especially at the very beginning. Um, all right, so today we're going to talk about some reminders with management of expectations, where your focus should be because it's middle of the week, right? Um, we're also going to talk about some of the progress, well, not some of the progress through the sales pipeline, and also maybe some challenges that you may or may not be having. And then we're going to talk about state changes. No, excuse me. We talked about language yesterday. Yeah, today is state changes. I got my topics backwards. But state changes, how to create them, how to use them. I think that's going to be pretty valuable. A lot of the time I spend working with people is actually uh, before the model starts, before the work on the model starts. It's very much a where your head's at, right? And so that's the topic of today. We're going to talk about those state changes, how to create them and use them, which is interesting because I put it right around the time that a lot of you might, if you're digging in, be getting frustrated. That's kind of funny. Um, I say funny, not like haha, but funny, strange. No, I kind of know that that's the deal. Uh, Tomorrow's topic is going to be gratitude, right? And the reason, and I'm telling you that, kind of foreshadowing that for you, is because all of these topics were actually I can show you on my screen. All these topics were picked up. I got the dates backwards on these, obviously, but you can see there Thursday, December 10th. I got that backwards, but today we're talking about state changes, how to create them, and how to use them, and then gratitude. I mean, that's on purpose. Like that's not something that you know, I don't even know where's the user history at. So you can see version history, see version history. So like you can see, the last time I edited this, the last time I edited this was the middle of last month. So I haven't come in here to change these topics or like, you know, pre-plan this outside of what I'd done originally, which I know some people might have thought that, but now if you've got video proof that I wouldn't do something like that. Maybe I would, but I would tell you that I did that. So um, in this case, I didn't do that. It just happens to be that I know this is about that time where, I give you a good kick in the butt on the first day. Um, Friendly reminder that you got to get moving, and then this is kind of our not checkup point because every day we're on the stream, right? But at the same time, very much a self check time, and changing your state, learning how to change your state or create states that you can change to, and all the above. That's going to be a very valuable tool, and I am by no means a master at it. I'm pretty good at it, at least for myself. So I'm going to tell you the things that I do. Um, and there's so many different things for as many different people as there are. There's probably a different set of processes in place, or that can be put in place, excuse me, for um, changing your state. And after a while, you'll get good enough to where you can do it right in the middle of your flow. Where if you're just having a bad day, or maybe some really bad news came in, almost instantly you're able to change that state. And that's important because the sooner you can do that, the more open you are to the changes that need to be made to adapt to whatever just came your way, right? Good or bad. We always adapt. People think it's always just, for the bad stuff. It's actually not. It's also for uh, adapting to the bad stuff, or for the good stuff. Sorry, I had to make a note here about a mindset topic that I wanted to cover um, in that special series that I'm going to do. I'm just brainstorming and stuff comes to me. I don't know. It's weird. But I had to write it down so that I don't forget it because I'm in the middle of the session. All right. I'm not seeing anything in the restream comments. So, oh, nope, there we are. Adrian is saying hello from London. Very good. Glad to have you here. Um, Let me go over to Facebook real quick. Just make sure everything's hunky dory over there. I'll have to do a refresh. All right, so state changes are interesting because a lot of people may not realize at first if you haven't ever worked on this kind of stuff and been proactive about it. I'm going to tell you straight out, like you may not even realize the kind of state you're in. You might need somebody to help kind of point that out. And I know you've also seen me do that a lot with other people, and some are resistant to it, some are accepting of it right away. Very few actually are, because most people don't realize or see what I see. And it's not necessarily their job to see that right this second, but it is your job, it is your responsibility as a business owner, right? You have to take that responsibility on of uh, tending to your own garden, right? Mindset wise, right? You have to work on that. So if someone is telling you um, that, like, okay, let me lay this out for you. The way Ring Ads is built as a model to serve you folks, right? We make money when you make money, and your clients make money when you make money. So if you're not making money, then your clients aren't getting helped. Um, the consumers that they have that they could have had are not getting helped. I'm not getting anywhere. You're not getting anywhere. Nobody wins, right? So my interests uh, are aligned very much so and stay aligned very much so with what your goals are, what your end goals are. The difference is I've been there, done that many, many, many times. I've seen many, many, many different ways to screw this up. I've seen what the common ways are to screw it up. So when I speak about anything that's related to your mindset or what I see, you should really be paying a lot more attention, and not just paying more attention, but actually taking it to heart, even if it doesn't sit well with you at first. Chew on it. I'm telling you straight up, because I'm not going to tell you something. I'm not going to give you something to do that I wouldn't do or haven't already done myself. I'm not going to. I'm not going to give you the tools that I've used. I'm not going to give you tools that I haven't used. I'm not going to give you basically anything that I don't have from direct personal experience, because I don't feel that's fair. It's not an accurate. It's not an accurate uh, representation. Okay, so we got a comment here. Hold on. I was saying to Art the other day about the December game plan. What does that say? So you mean call through Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th as if they were regular weekdays? Do I understand that correctly? Yeah, that's what I was suggesting for Art. Yeah. Um, but I also know that Art's hard at work, right? He's after it. So I can say that to him, and I know he's going to go and do that, right? If he's planning on continuing, right? And we haven't heard anything from Art for a couple of days. I know he's busy, right? Uh, but he's overdue if you haven't noticed. And so if there's something going on in the business and he hasn't come to me yet, then we're going to find out soon enough, because as soon as stuff starts to go off the rails, I always get that call. And that's cool because I can help. At the same time, it probably would have been better to, you know, stay in contact. And that's again one of those things. One of the three simple rules to success is that massive engagement and commitment to that, like communicating with me. I mean, I'm here every day on a live stream. There's a reason for that, because I felt like you needed it, right? And I don't mean any one person. I mean everyone. You needed my availability. That's fine. Here I am. Right now, how are you choosing to use it? How are you going to choose to use it? That's the main thing. So, um, that said, yeah, Art's got a game plan to make calls through the weekend, just to just to burn, right? Because he's been running, he's going to have some follow up lists, things like that. So it makes sense for him to do that. It might not be the same advice I would give everybody else. It just depends on where you're at in the process, right? If you haven't even started, if today's your day one, that might not be a good idea. I don't know. It just depends on how far you progress between now and then as well. So I take it on a case by case basis. That's what these calls are great for. If you have questions about what a game plan would be for you, then by all means ask away. Specific to you, that's cool. Um, I don't like doing generics really. I do on the mindset because it does translate very well. But everybody else, if you need help with something, I very much like to individualize it because there are things that you need to hear, right, or don't need to hear in some cases. So that said, mindset and states, right? So sometimes you can find yourself in a funk and not even know you're in a funk, and then it just spirals out of control, and now you know you're in a funk, but then it's like, what do you do about it, right? And you need what I call like a reset, and to develop a reset button is actually just habit forming. And when I say habit forming, I mean exactly what I said. So it's something that you're going to have to write down at first and keep on a post-it note. And it's like stuck to your screen or on your desk or something. And it reminds you of, okay, I'm frustrated. Let me pick up my frustrated post-it note, right? And you pick that up and then you you go to work, right? So anyway, that's uh, that's what I would recommend you do is make kind of your own checklist. Now, everything that I'm suggesting here, it's going to vary, right? Not everybody. You can try. You can start trying with what I've got, but what I do is very much dialed in for me. So, and it doesn't always work for everybody. So, uh, the first thing I like to do is do that like exasperated sigh. When I feel myself do that, I know I need a minute. And by a minute, I don't mean an actual minute. I mean I need to take the time, or I need to hit the reset button. That's my trigger, one of them. I have others, but that's a big one for me, right? If I have to take a sigh, or if I feel any kind of anger, um, or maybe misplaced anger, then it's going to trigger a reset. And a lot of the time I can do this on the fly. So some of these things I can do in the privacy of my own home. Some of these things, if I'm on a live stream, I have to do them kind of on the fly and in front of the public eye, if you think about it. Because if I'm on a live stream right now and I have to do a state reset, then I've got to figure out the things that I can do that are gonna put me at ease, right? And there's simple things like taking my shoes off and um, running my feet through the carpet. It's kind of an exfoliation thing, but at the same time, grabbing the carpet with my feet. Uh, when I can't, when I say can't, when I'm on a live stream, for example, and I can't get up and actually pace around like I would, pacing actually helps me a lot, pacing and breathing. But then I'll also start breathing in deeper. You'll even hear me do that on calls. I'll take in deeper breaths when it's time for me to talk. I'll also slow down my talking just a little bit to a pace that's more like this, which is a much more calm pace. And if you notice, I'm not really missing a beat, but I have slowed a bit just enough for me to feel very much with everything that I'm doing in the state change, if that makes sense. And when I've actually successfully changed the state, right? The other thing I like to do is crack jokes. Sometimes well, if I'm on by my lonesome and I need a state change, sometimes it's as simple as getting up from the desk, moving around. I like to move around every hour on the hour for 5 to 10 minutes at least. That's what we call the military break. You do that, you can do that for 12 hours straight, actually, and not really be hurting at the end of the 12 hours. Um, and so I recommend that anytime you can do that at your job, anytime you can do that at home, working from home, highly recommend doing that. I also drink water. One of the things I like to do as a state reset or a reset button to change states, again, not every time I drink water do I need a reset. Sometimes I'm just thirsty and need water, but that's my point. I'm wrapped up. I'm so wrapped up. I forgot to drink some water. My throat's dry. But if I quench my thirst a little bit, it gives me time while I'm drinking to think, and water is good. It feels good. My throat's no longer where it was, right? So there's small changes, small adjustments, small improvements like that. See, feels pretty good. You'll even see me after I drink water, usually uh, on a live stream, especially if I go long, smile because I don't know, it's just something about quenching the thirst, having good water in your system, feeling pretty good, right? I don't know, something to that for me anyway. I'm also a big music head. Uh, I played instruments, listened to music all my life, all different types of music. For some reason, when I work, I'm very much a, hip hop and rap guy. Weird, I know, but it is what it is. That's what I do when I work. When I'm in the work zone, that's what I'm listening to. But I used to play classical, used to play jazz, so I still listen to a lot of those too, just to get in different states. So let's say I'm jamming, I'm using Brain FM, and if I'm not using that, then I'm listening to a playlist, and it's usually rap, and I'm just jamming away. And something happens, or I've been working so long that I'm at that burnout point where one little thing could just totally, one little bolt in the engine, right, can totally stop the engine. So sometimes that happens. That's when I do I sit back for a second, do the sigh, I look at the water, grab the water because I know my throat's all jacked. I drink the water, and then I go and I pop on a different set of music. Or a lot of times I'll pop on something like a 2 or 3 minute or no more than 5 minute funny video. And I make a commitment to only play that one video. That's it. Right. So I don't go on this like tangent of watching 20 videos in a row, which is easy to do, by the way. My point is, it's on my checklist. Watch a funny meme video, something like that. It's how I come across all the funny stuff anyway. And life is good, right? I usually that's enough to reset my system. And what I choose to watch or choose to listen to again is usually lighthearted. Um, I don't always go right back into the music I was into, like if I was listening to rap or if I was doing Brain FM, which I love Brain FM, by the way. I don't always go right back into that. And I usually when I need a state reset, I usually just go ahead and take 5 minutes and get up and walk around anyway. And I usually take my water bottle with me while I walk, and maybe a phone. And sometimes I'll take a second and message somebody I care about and say, "Hey, man, thinking about you," right? Because I'm thinking about something else to change my state. One of the best ways to solve problems that you're trying to solve right here, right now, is to actually think about something completely different. And usually, not just completely different as in thinking about hot dogs or pizza or what I'm going to eat tonight or when does the wife get home or what's my kid doing in school or what. No. How about have positive, happy thoughts like, oh, I remember that time that me and my best friend did this, and man, I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks. Hope he's doing okay because of COVID and everything. Let me write him a message. Hey, man, thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. What's going on? Um, Remember that time we did this and that, right? And then put a smile or not a smile emoji, but like a laughing, crying emoji. And then I instantly I'm smiling about it already because I instantly feel better just even talking about doing something like that. And then I say, okay, um, where was I? And come back to what I was doing. And that's usually all the kind of state change I need. Now, for things that are a little bit more stressful for you folks, starting out like on the phones, any kind of market research or sales calls, you might need to take um, more of a 10-minute break at first to really dial in your settings, if you will, because again, everybody's settings are going to be different. But I think it should be a combination of get your ass up, get some water in you, stretch. Stretching is always really good. Do power position poses. Have you ever seen those? You do this, outstretched arms up. You know, these are all what we call power positions. Um, you can look those up on YouTube. There's like 5 of them that are really, really easy to do. And then you throw your stretches in there, some breathing, and change up the music. Come in, watch a 2 or 3 minute video, and then you're golden, right? Then you're golden. So it really does help to change your state. And there's nothing like it's so funny. Best friend's back again. I love that. He must not got enough yesterday. Um, what's cool about that is that puts a smile on my face. Not because he's here. I do appreciate that, but I think again of all the times and all the things we've done and all the things we're going to do, and it, that in itself, just seeing that comment is a state change. So it should tell you very much like what I'm saying is not only true, it's actually very, very helpful to change your state. Sometimes you're under pressure, you're under the gun. Like if you're like me and you're not necessarily doing a live stream, but something to the equivalent, like you're in the middle of a sales call and somebody is just pushing all your buttons. You may not be able to do that right away or as well at first. But I will tell you, if you've got that checklist in front of you, when shit goes crazy, right? When bad shit starts happening up here, right? Because of what somebody else said, which is not, I mean, we can't control what somebody else is going to say, right? We can't control what somebody else is going to think or what somebody else is going to feel. All we can do is control what we say and think and feel. So if things are getting out of hand in that way, uh, it's best to cease the interaction either with the actual call itself or shift gears in the conversation, not to totally change subject, but to hit that reset button. And I can't tell you how many times I've hit a reset button in the middle of a conversation or had to hit someone else's reset button for them or try to in some cases uh, because they were so distraught that they weren't going to be able to solve the problem. I mean, what's the old quote from Albert Einstein, for example? The trying to solve the same problem from the same place is doing the same thing over and over again to solve this problem is the definition of insanity, right? It's the same concept when you're stuck on something, you can't be in the same state. It should be updated to or amended to say that because state is everything. It governs everything. The gray matter, the 6 inches between your ears, governs everything you do or don't do, right? Everything. Everything. You want to go get 2 clients today? Work on the gray matter, right? Get yourself to where you can do some state changes. And you know what? You could be on a roll. You could be doing tons of clients. You could be doing everything you need to be doing, and maybe you still need to do a state change once an hour. I mean, Christ, if the military says you should do 10 minutes of break every hour, by standard anyway. And I'm not talking about like special forces or anything. I'm talking strictly the rest of the military that's they kick boxes or work on planes or whatever. They recommend you take the breaks, right? It's not just a mental break, it's also a physical break, but more a mental break. um, Special forces have their own, they push themselves. This is another way to do it, I guess, and it does help for sure. They push themselves beyond uh, any kind of limits that are perceived, and then they push even further or are pushed even further in training past any limits at all or belief in any that there are any limits. Like there's not a special forces guy or special operations guy that I've ever met or known that has thought in the way of limitation. In other words, they keep an open mind, they keep a cool head in most cases, um, but they're a hothead when they need to be, right? They know that there's a time and a place for that, and because they have that programming built in, right? They have that advantage for sure to go longer, further, faster, harder than anyone else, than most anyone else, except for other operators, right? But those skills do translate to the business world, not just the agency that I'm teaching, but anything in business. And that's cool because, excuse me, again, it's an advantage. But for us regular mortals, right? For everybody else, there are things you can do to change your state. And as you do those kinds of things, they enable you to reset faster and on the fly eventually, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it doesn't take forever either, right? It's not going to take you years to master this. It's going to take you, if you do it with a checklist, like I'm telling you, and figure out, dial in your settings on that, whatever it is that makes you happy. Uh, I like spending time with my dog. Part of my breaks I usually spend with my dog, just going and seeing what she's into. She's usually next to me anyway, and I love on her. Go give her I can't say the word TREAT. I have to give her a you know what, because if she hears that right now, she'll probably go batshit. Because I always give her one, and it's fun to share with her like that. And she actually comes and bothers me, and I love it because it's like, hey, there's up. time to take a break. It's like 5 minutes before it was time for me to take a break anyway. Dog wants to get scratched. Cool. I'm all about it, right? Come over here. And so it could be a cat for you if you're a cat guy or a cat girl, whatever. Could be anything like that, right? Could be just going outside and getting some sun, right? Standing in the sun for 5 minutes, walk around. An outside walk will do wonders, especially for extended work hours on one of those 5 to 10 minute breaks, 100%. So there's a lot of things you can do to change your state. Um, but that's how you would create your own kind of uh, checklist and pattern. And if something's not working for you, I mean, think about if you work 4 hours on this kind of stuff regularly, or 2 hours a day. I mean, that's one or two breaks that you could take um, every day, 5 days a week. It only take you a couple weeks to get the checklist dialed in to exactly what your needs are, and then it's about dialing it in on, like I said, being able to do it on the fly with the stuff that you can't do away from the desk, right? Like go outside. Okay. So, and then obviously when it's time to take a break, go outside. But my point is, there are things you can do on the fly to do the reset, like the breathing, the water, the shifting gears in the subject, not changing the subject, but just moving the conversation forward and revisiting whatever the sticking point was. It really does help a lot. And it's not just about, again, somebody telling you, oh, you're in a poor state, you need to change your state. It's also, well, no shit, right? It's also, well, what does it take to create a state? I just gave you what I use to create states all the time, right? And not just a state of reset, but which is great, but there's also a checklist for positive state, okay? Checklist for how do I get in the zone for working, right? And prepare for that successfully. I tell people, hey, I'm on do not disturb right now, and don't bother me. I'm working. And because I know that every time somebody interrupts my workflow, it's going to take me 20, 30 minutes to get up to speed again. And every time that they do that, man, that shit can get annoying really, really quick. And if you only have a couple hours a day to dedicate to this business starting out, it's really going to hurt. So yeah, you make the time. You tell people I'm making the time to do this, but then after that, I'm all yours, right? Run me in the ground with fixing the cabinet, eating dinner with you, watching Netflix, whatever. But these 2 hours I'm spending here, because eventually those 2 hours are going to get me out of this job, which means I'll have double the time for you. You'll probably get sick of me and send me away, but at least you'll have all the time you want and then some, right? That kind of thing. So it really does help, again, to understand that you not only need to create a different state change, but how to create one, and then how to use it, and then how to graduate to what you need. So that said, I'm going to grab a link here to the Zoom. You can feel free to come into the Zoom, which again feeds directly into the live stream. Have no problem uh, answering questions and comments either. Whatever you guys are comfortable with, whatever's going to get you uh, closer to that promised land, right, or further into that promised land for some of you. And I'll make sure that okay, so the link's posted in the Facebook group there. Uh, I'll make sure that you get everything you need and then some. Okay. All right. Adrian's asking or saying that's like 2 extra challenge days. I got the fish oil, omega-3, the vitamin B complex coming tomorrow. That's good. I already have the D3 anyway. Cool. It was the bulletproof XCT oil. That's correct. High octane is more of a brain food, whereas XCT is more of an everything. It's, um, and that's good that you can get them in the UK. Yeah, bulletproof XCT, like we discussed in the mentorship on Monday. Art, haha, still going at it. No issues at the moment. I did run the dollar last Saturday. Got some calls that day, but a lot of calls on Monday. Still following up with them. Didn't run on Monday. We'll get cracking again today. Was on the various coaching calls yesterday. Great content, but long. Okay. Um, we're in Wednesday, though. I mean, what happened Tuesday? And I'll tell you right now, Art, with where you're at and what you've got going, you shouldn't let my daily calls interfere with your calls, right? Show up, comment, and I'll know that you're here or that you were here for most of it. Dedicate the hour. Anything beyond the hour, haul ass. Haul ass, get shit done. You know what to do. Don't use me as an excuse, because it's a very poor excuse to use, right? Get after it, right? You've got a huge gap right now that could be filled with clients. I'm not saying you're doing horrible or anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you know you could be doing better, right? So let's cut the excuse game, which was, I mean, you didn't even mention Tuesday. Shit, dude. Um, anyway, you said um, yesterday's call that you were going to get cracking, and now you're again saying today you're going to get cracking. Get cracking then, right? Get cracking. Um, don't sit on your ass because you think nobody's going to catch you. Somebody will catch you, and if they don't, I mean, it's personal best anyway. You really happy with where you're at right now? I'm sure you're not. Keep after it, right? Keep after it. So, all right. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Hold on. Maybe I did. Let me go and thing in the restream comment. Check my is saying hello from keep. I hate how when I click on that it always unmutes it. Let me check the comments just to make sure everybody's good. Everybody's telling me where they tuned in from. That's cool. Sarasota, Saudi Arabia, UK, Philippines, Beirut, UK again. Cool. Okay. All right, folks. Well, I'm just going to sit here and drink some water, kind of hang out. If you have questions, ask away. If you want to come into the Zoom, come into the Zoom. I've got my eyeball on the waiting room. Mm. Jeff is tuning in from Eastern Oregon. He's at the beginning of the session. Well, while I'm waiting on everybody to ask their questions or not, I'm going to do the attendance. Here's what I want you to do in the comment section. I want you to type in what do I want to do? State change checklist. That's a tongue twister. State change checklist, because that's exactly what you're going to go make today. You're going to spend 5 minutes and make that today. At least start with something, right? Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress for a week or two if you're only at this a couple hours a day, but it will get dialed in and it'll be one of the best things you ever did for yourself. Not just for the business, definitely helps with that, obviously, but excuse me, in a personal way too, right? All right, let me see here. Hold on, let me move over so that comments aren't all up in my face. Let's see. Tim, John, who else do we got here? Tim, Art, Andy, Jeff. Where's Andy at? Andy, I don't have you on this list, I don't think. You're not on this list. Jeff. Already got Jeff. Robert. Garrett. Adrian. Muhammad. Okay. Just let me double check here. Cool, cool. So we're just waiting on a couple others here. State change checklist. Steve Taylor, there he is. All right. Also, Art, Sean, Sean Vukovich, and who else did I tag in that post? You guys saw that post, right? I tagged 2 or 3 people in the Andy. I tagged you in that. So I tagged you 3 in that post. Somebody was asking about their experience or experiences where they should start. Obviously, I could have loaded them up with answers, but I'd much rather them hear from you guys, not just you guys, but everyone. If you've got an experience to share about your progress in the training, what's helped you get to where you're at, those things will help some of the other members because we've got some new people and they're starting out and they're uh, not only wanting to know where to start, they kind of got an idea, but they're also wanting to know if they should upgrade or if they should work on what they should do. And I wanted people to hear it from you folks, especially if you're uh, kicking ass, right? All right. I'll keep my eye on the attendance, but for now, that seems to be good to go. Andy, you're asking, are you going to get the new AirPods Max, William? They're really cheap. I saw I saw a notice come out about those, but I haven't gone to actually. Oh, I take that back. I did see those. It was the email. It's the over the ear. No, I'm not really. I might look at them, but I love my Bose headset, to be honest. Um, so I would say it's something I'll look at because it does look like it's a good design, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't commit to it in terms of actual purchase, but if I like what I hear, then yeah. But I've already got a great over-the-ear headset, so there's John. Cool. So John's, I got you listed there, John. Uh, yeah, I don't know how much they are. I didn't even look. I don't really look at that kind of stuff that much anymore in terms of price. I don't, you know, if I want them, I want them, but I don't want them right now, at least right now. Who was that? John Hackwood. Where's he at? Oh, John. Appreciate you participating, but you've uh, you've been out of the running for a while. I'm just throwing that out there. Still love you though. Okay, cool. No comments, no questions, no. What do I need? What do I got to do next? Nothing. Art, solid advice, and you're right. Didn't even notice it's Wednesday. Definitely not where I want to be. Then considering it's hump day, I do get why you warned about burnout when doing too much calling without breaks. I spent Tuesday building out the campaigns, optimizing, but slacking if I'm being honest. Thanks for the kick in the butt. These calls are always great and timely. I did respond to the post about your problem. Oh, good, cool. I just hadn't seen it yet. I tagged you guys because I know you're going to be able to offer a lot more insight than just me. Not that my insight's bad, but again, there's only so many times, folks, and I know you folks know this as well, that you can hear the same shit from me. You know what I mean? It's the same stuff over and over again. I'm a broken record in a lot of ways. Unless something new comes up, then, you know, John, ask away. One question, ask away. Just, you don't even have to say that. Just ask away, my man. Um, but yeah, and I get what you're saying about, you had some stuff to do. I did warn you about the burnout. Um, and not just the breaks, but like per day, you shouldn't be doing more than 4 hours of dialing at all, because it's not beneficial to the overall business. A lot of people want to get in there and I'm going to dial 12 hours today. Oh my God, good luck with that. You know what I mean? And I don't mean for the day. You might be able to do it for the day. In fact, I know you could, especially with breaks. But man, you're going to pay the price for it for sure. There's no doubt. And that's just one of those things that comes with the experience, right? So, John, you're asking, and I know the comments section is not updating on Restream. So, again, Restream is not working on comments. God almighty. I don't know why that is. Really weird. But I can see the question in the Facebook. So, in the Facebook comment section. So, when a prospect asks, how do you generate the calls? What do you say? I say I use several different traffic sources, right? I pull from places that have high intent. And if they ask me where, I'm going to say, I'm not at liberty to tell you. It's just that simple. I'm not going there with them. And if they act like that's a problem for them, I tell them very matter of fact, for one thing. But if they act like that's a problem for them or that that's going to be a problem for them, I tell them the things that they don't want to hear but will acknowledge, right? They will acknowledge, such as, well, you're an HVAC, right? How would you react if I were asking you all your trade secrets for um, changing out the compressors in the unit, or um, recharging the unit with the right Freon and all that, like testing the best testing gauges there are on the market for a pro level. No, like I'm not asking you those things because you tell me the exact same thing that I'm telling you. It's proprietary. Here's here's what that question you're asking really is, by the way, Mr. Potential Client. You're concerned about the call quality. You want, at the end of the day, you want to make money on those calls. And guess what? At the end of the day, I want you to make money on those calls too. Because if you make money on those calls, you're going to buy more of them. We all win, right? Without that, though, without that call quality, you're not going to win. I'm not going to win. Nobody wins, right? That's why we start small, you loop back, right? That's why we start small. I'm not asking for thousands of dollars. I'm asking you for a deposit. Well, let me show you what we got. You're going to love it. And then we'll talk business even more after those couple of calls come in, right? Or 5 calls come in or 10 calls come in. So that's how you handle it. You laugh it off and say that's your secret sauce. That's one way to do it. Laughing can be considered a defense mechanism, though, if you're not careful. People might read into that. I like to cut the fat out and get straight to the point. You know, don't get me wrong, I do use humor, but not as a defense mechanism. I do my best not to. There are times where I do that, but not in a sales call. Not consciously anyway. It's not something that that is they're not, if they're not laughing with you, you know what I'm saying? Secret sauce might get them to laugh, maybe. Highly doubt it though, because they're testing you. It's a shit test, right? They're testing you to see if you're just going to give up all your sources, right? Um, and that's not something that I do ever. And the reason I don't do it is because I don't usually drive just one source either. I focus on high intent, high quality. That's what makes me different from everybody else, by the way, Mr. Client. You've got a built in dispute process. There's so many different things you can loop back into to explain to him what he's really asking. Just like I do with you guys. When you ask me questions about sales process or agency setup on a website, this or that, I know exactly where your head's at because I know the business well enough. Again, this goes back to things like if your market research is done well, if you've studied the script well, at least the words, and then go back and learn the tonal patterns, and then you jump on the phone and start your sales process and prospecting, life is much easier for you, a lot easier for you to be able to say things like that with confidence and get right to the point and without poking them in the eye, but at the same time making sure that they understand that they're not getting jack shit without me ever. I am the asset at that point, and that's how it should be viewed. Um, when you're on the phone with them, right? You should be the asset. That's that's how it goes. Um, what do we got here? Hold on, let me come back here. Um, cool. Okay. Any other questions? You guys got me for at least another 18, 17 minutes or so. If we go over 18 minutes, whatever you folks need, I'm here. Whatever you folks need. I had a brainstorming session this morning. I'll just spitball with you guys for a couple minutes if there's not going to be any questions. I I always like good feedback, and I don't mean yeah man feedback or whatever. I mean honest feedback, how you feel about stuff. I thought about putting together a video, making it a little bit comical, right? But not like I'm not a stand-up guy, right? In terms of comedian, right? I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm not I'm not that funny. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't think I am. And but that doesn't mean I don't understand humor and can't put together something kind of funny. And my thought was the different the different states of William, right? Since we're talking about states, it kind of fits pretty well, especially after the last couple of days. We've had some people kind of have some ups and downs over actually even the last week or so, where some tough decisions were made in terms of what people are going to do, not do, continue doing, not do again, right? Like all those things. And how I made somebody feel, somebody else's opinion that I also uh, toasted somebody, right? Which keeps me coming back to the whole toast thing. And I thought maybe it would be a good idea. You guys tell me what you think, but I thought maybe it would be a good idea for you to get some perspective on the many different states that I have so that you know exactly which one you're getting. You know what I mean? Like, I think maybe the reason some of you feel that way, or come away from the call feeling that way, when in reality, it's nothing but me helping you, right? Maybe the reason you feel that way is because you don't know all the different states I have, because I don't show them to you. And in my mind, I always saw it as unnecessary, right? I'm not trying to give you anything that you don't need. However, I'm starting to think maybe it's something you guys need, because a couple of you are feeling that way, which, I mean, yeah, I think it might be necessary. And for me to show you all the different levels, right? And different states. I think that would be pretty good. I don't know. And throwing in some humor, of course, maybe a couple pieces of toast in there somewhere, yelling at some toast. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But like actually yelling. You guys haven't heard me yell, so you wouldn't know that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I should do something like that? Put together a quick video to demonstrate the many different states of William? I don't know. I kind of like the idea, to be honest. I think it's actually got the potential to help you, again, get some perspective on, um, when we talk business, the state that you're getting from me, right? And the changes. I think that might be helpful. Scott says yes. Scott, I didn't see you. Did I see you in attendance? Hold on. No, I didn't see you put that checklist thing, right? State checklist. What was it? Shit. Hold on. I'll tell you in a second. State change checklist. Scott, you got to type in state change checklist on the the live stream inside of the Facebook group. Live stream inside of the Facebook group. You entered it. Okay. Let me go back and check. I see it. I will mark you now. My apologies. All right. All right. So you're golden. So just for the record, we're missing Bob Lee. Christina, I don't think she's going to show after that post this morning. So I think she's probably done. I think she said she was taking a break for the year. So she's out, I believe. John Smith. Did I see John Smith? I thought I saw John Smith. Let me see here. I thought I saw John Smith. Hold on. I'm checking John. Yep, there's John. Damn. I'm going to go through and do these real quick just to make sure I don't miss nobody. And the only other one that I'm missing, at least by my count, there's two, Bob Lee and Jerry Clark. So let me go back and check. Thought I saw Jerry too. Hold on. Let me double check. Where's Jerry? Nope, no Jerry, not yet. And Bob Lee either. So Jerry and Bob Lee. Okay, got you guys. Got everybody else though, for sure. Muhammad's asking a quick question not related to today's topic. That's fine. You don't have to relate it to today's topic. It's whatever you need help with. The topic is to help you, obviously, but how many clients, here's the question, how many clients within the same niche can we have, sorry, lost my spot there. Can we have within the same city of, say, 100,000 population, which is actually very, very low, would not recommend that. Before we can say it's saturated, now time to target another location. Again, you're not trying to get all the clients in one city, and you're also not supposed to start, if you've never done this before, you're not supposed to start with 100,000 population. Go and find on Google.com. There's a Wikipedia page for the top U.S. cities by population over 100,000, and it ranks them in descending order. So New York, Los Angeles, New York City, Los Angeles, all that kind of shit, on down. Look for the 500,000 in population cities. Start there, and then you can branch out upward and downward. Okay, that downward on that list and upward on that list. And there's about 300 and change. It's like 315 something cities at least that are over 100,000 in population. But start with 500,000. I wouldn't go below 250,000 in population for a while. and that'll keep you more than busy, by the way. And it's not really about how many clients you can get before it's saturated. It's just about finding the right kinds of clients. So I recommend you target 3 to 5 clients in one per area. You do not have to do that all at once. It's just an ultimate over the long term goal to acquire 3 to 5 clients in one city, one metro area, one area. Okay. And out of that 3 to 5, you'll find 1 to 2 that are just really, really great clients, the ones you're going to keep for 20, 30 years, right? And if you do that for 200, 300 cities just in one vertical, well, then you're going to have anywhere from uh, at the lowest point 200 clients all the way per vertical, all the way up to several hundred, right? If not more, but definitely that many because there are some regional and national deals that are going to kick in at some point down the road organically. So yeah, hopefully I answered that question for you. John says that idea might be fun to watch, and we also get to know more about you. You know, maybe it's me, but I just, do you guys really need to know that kind of shit about me? And I'm not asking as an asshole or as being sarcastic. I really legitimately want to know. Do you guys feel you need to know that stuff about me? Maybe it's the thing I'm missing. You guys don't know enough about me in terms of how I react or how I handle things. You don't know the many different moods or states. So you don't know if I'm in a good mood or not, or in a bad mood or not. And when you hear me latch on to something in business mode, full on business mode, you think I'm ripping you to shreds, which I'm not even close to, right? If I was ripping you to shreds, man, think about this for a second. If I was ripping people to shreds constantly, right, there'd be nobody left for me to talk to right now. And I wouldn't have anybody that gets the results they get. I mean, uh, yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be kind of cool, to do a little skit kind of compilation of all the different states, right? But I don't know if that's necessary. It seems like you guys would enjoy it, and that's great. But I mean, is it to learn more about me? Cool, but is that going to help you not relate to me, but is that going to help you um, be solid in the fact that I'm not ripping you to shreds when I'm not? That's what I'm curious about. That's what I want to know. You missed the edit I added about your thought processes. Oh, hold on. I missed the edit. I don't see an edit. I don't see an edit, John. You missed the edit I added about your thought processes. Might be fun to watch, and we also get to know more about you. And you probably edited your thought processes. Got it. Okay. Yeah, well, I do my best to do that in business mode. I know that much. I mean, again, I don't tell you anything that I wouldn't do or haven't already done myself. I'm never going to do that. I'm always straight up with you. I'm always transparent. If anything, there's no fat or less fat than probably most people are used to. And I get right to the point because there's so much to cover and so much to talk about and so many different scenarios, so many unique positions that people are in based on their job, the hours they work, their family life, their history, in terms of just mental blocks they have to work with and get around. Um, Everybody gets stuck at different places. Everybody gets stuck, but everybody gets stuck at different places. And it's usually one of the more common ones. So those are easy to pick out, no problem. Uh, Much more challenging for someone to actually work with and adapt to, though, even though I'm teaching it. So I'm not sure if all that, if the many different states of William are gonna, if that video is gonna help you as much as I'd like it to. But I'm asking because it's a thought I had just based on, I don't know, the whole toasted thing. I started thinking about, like, for some reason, here's how it started. When Christina said I toasted her yesterday, uh, it's not that it bothered me because I knew I didn't toast her. She felt toasted. Okay, that's nothing I can do about that. Um, so it made me think about after the call. I started my head, my humor. Right, again, I do have humor. I started immediately thinking about, like, me in a park of some kind, uh, just with a piece of toast, and I'm just like, and I've got a drill instructor hat on, and I am just lacing into this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a piece of toast. And as I'm lacing into it, it cuts back to the toast, and every time it cuts back to the toast is a little bit more burnt, and a little bit more burnt, and a little bit more burnt until it's like nothing but a crisp, right? Um, for some reason, and then I was like, well, that's not fair because it makes it look like I'm making fun of it as opposed to making it educational, and I wouldn't want to do it unless I was actually going to be able to show people like that's not my only state, that's not what's in the back of my mind all the time or anything like that. Uh, that I do have humorous side. So then I was like, maybe I'll just start out with a bread basket. You know what I'm saying? Like something stupid like that. And so my mind goes down this rabbit hole, 8 million miles a minute. You know what I mean? Or 8 million miles an hour. Uh, really a minute. But, and I start thinking about all these different scenarios where there's like a Surgeon General's warning, where it says, warning, um, toasting, you may experience toasting sensations. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not following the training, you may feel toasting sensations or toasted sensation, just stuff like that, just random, just you know, cut scene, Family Guy kind of skit stuff like that. That makes me think it's funny to me. At the same time, I'm not trying to make fun. I'm trying to educate. But is that education actually going to be beneficial to you to the point where you respond better, right? And by respond better, I mean in the business, right? Because so many people, I've had successful students and unsuccessful students alike, and everybody in between, or people from all walks of life, basically, um, not follow my training, even though I've asked them to. I've had them fall flat on their face in almost every case, and then come back and start following the training, and that's great until they decide to do that again, because they do almost every time. And then boom, they fall on their face again. And it's like, how many times are they going to do that? And you know, I'm also not the guy, if you notice, pointing at you, laughing at you that you fell down every time. I'm also not the guy saying, I told you you're going to fall down. I'm the guy that says, here's where it went wrong. Make sure you see that. Yes, you see it. Okay, cool. So here's what we can do to make it right. And here's what we can do to stay right. And then on top of all of that, the mindset that drove you to do that in the first place should probably be worked on, so that, and none of that has anything to do with my state, but for some reason people feel toasted. People get toasted when, it's uncomfortable looking in a mirror. Have you looked in a mirror lately? It gets uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable, by the way. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to tell you anything I wouldn't tell myself or haven't told myself. I'm just saying. So if you're feeling toasted, it's probably because your business is like, yo, bud. Like, for example, Art was talking about earlier, not to put him on the spot, but, he's doing well, and I want to see him continue to do well, right? That's the whole point of what we're doing. And I know it's been several days, and I'm like, shit, man, should have heard from Art, should have heard from Art. And then I saw a comment yesterday, oh, I'm going to get on it, I'm going to get on it. And then I see the same kind of shit today with a bunch of excuses, right? Whether good or not, doesn't matter. It's an excuse because the stuff that needed to get done didn't get done. And he listed it out. He comes correct on it, which is good. That's very solid, by the way, Art. Uh, Doing very well with that, right? Uh, on the mindset side, but not immediately. So there's still some work to be done in terms of fine tuning that or improving, room for improvement, basically, because you weren't 100% on, what you need to be doing, right? And yeah, I'm the one that told you that, but at the same time, your business, your agency told me to tell you that, right? Because of where I know you're at, what you're working through currently. I don't even have to see the business to pretty much know where you're at and what's going on, right? In your head and in the business, in the business itself, right? Um, and I also know what it needs. And if you're not giving it what it needs, um, it's going to not do well. And then as soon as it doesn't do well, you're either going to have a lot of state changes to do, over the course of trying to get things back to where they need to be. You're going to have a loss of momentum, of course. That might just take the piss out of you and you quit again, right? Like it's possible, but not if you get my point. Not if you take what I'm telling you as a friend would tell you that you got something in your teeth. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of friend you want. Somebody that's going to tell you you got something in your teeth, privately, discreetly, um, without like making a big deal out of it either, or laughing their ass off at you, um, unless it was a friend thing, right? So yeah, like not making fun of you. So I see that and I go, okay, cool. That's a scenario where the way that I said what I said might sound like, oh, he's toasting me. No, not really. If I was toasting you, it sounds something more like, and keep in mind that the tonal patterns would be completely different as well. It might sound something more like, Art, what the fuck are you doing? This is this is this is the beginning. That's my opener for toasting something or someone. Okay, that's my toast. All right. What the fuck are you doing? I haven't heard from you in days. If you were my employee, I would have fucking fired you by now. Get your fucking ass to work. Are you having problems? And I would wait for an answer. And you would say, no, I know what I need to do. I just aimed it. I got this and that. And then story. And I'd say, fuck your story. Love you. But get to fucking work. That's that's much more of, and that might be too strong for a lot of people, which is why I don't say that kind of stuff. That's that's the that's the start of a toast, right? Notice I said start because I'm not yelling, right? Raised voices, right? Raising my voice is not yelling. Cursing is not an indicator necessarily um, of you being toasted either. A lot of people tend to take it that way. It's not. And if you do, you should probably reevaluate language, like we talked about previous session. Language. And I don't mean just cursing. I mean the language you use, the self-talk you use. Because I don't use any kind of like demeaning language. I'm very specific about that. I don't say things like, Art, you're fucking up. You're fucking up, Art. You're fucking up. You're fucking up. Do I? I don't think it either, by the way. But if I were to toast someone, that's exactly what I'd be saying. Shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Uh, it's one of those things where you really, if somebody's poking you in the eye, you're gonna know it. I'm not poking anybody in the eye. I promise you. Uh, I want you to do well. Um, that might mean I need to, give you a kick in the butt, right, to get you moving. But I ain't gonna poke you in the eye. That's just rude. In my mind, that's what's rude, right? I'd much rather somebody tell me, I'd much rather somebody give me a kick in the ass to get me moving towards where I said I wanted to go, right? Than I would get poked in the eye because now I can only half see. You know what I'm saying? I got no depth perception now. Great. Thanks, William, right? So I don't want to be that guy, and I'm not going to be toasting people like that. There is one time I remember way back, like a couple, 2, 3 years ago, somebody said something like, I can't remember the words they used, but they said something along the lines of, like you're full of shit, and what you're teaching people doesn't work. And the thing is right before him as a guest, I had somebody else chime in on one of the Zoom calls, obviously, and they said the other person was like, could have been a testimonial. Like I could have just clipped that, and it would have been I can't thank William enough. This is what I've been able to do. Oh my God, I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I went from that on the same call to the next caller being the guy who was totally just shitting all over everything. And with that guy, I got toasty, got a little toasty with him, but only to the point where he understood that what he's doing is completely unacceptable behavior, and that if he's here on the call to get some help with the business because something for him is not working, I'm here for you. So I went from toasty, like getting toasty, to let's bring it back down to actually getting you somewhere, right? Getting you where you want to be, where you need to be. and let's not do any kind of name calling, right? Let's keep focused on the task in hand. And my goal is always to de-escalate, not escalate, to de-escalate, always. So yeah, if you're feeling like you're getting toasted by me, something's probably wrong with your alignment between your mindset and what you say you want from your business and what's actually going on in your business. 100%, 100%. Because we don't have that personal connection. We talk business. We talk about the different things for campaign optimization, all these things. It's very easy to, in the mustard stuff, to the real acidic stuff, um, to to not to lose sight of that, right? And just think all of a sudden, oh well, it sounds like he's attacking me, or I feel attacked, or I'm just so drained, or I'm so tired, and what he's saying, I'm just not there, right? And so it feels like he's attacking me, and I'm done, right? That's it happens. I get that, but at the same time, you've got to recognize that, come back, figure out what you got to figure out, and get moving again, right? Let's see. Art says, not sure if it would help the community, but as people are getting hung up on the calling and pitch, I'm cool if you want to share my recordings I sent. I can send over some calls where I also dropped the ball, resulting in no sale, and they can be discussed. I don't have any software to bleep out the sensitive stuff, though. Yeah, it's going to take me some time to edit that kind of stuff. I planned on doing it next year. I can definitely talk about the points, the big sticking points that most people will go through before seeing a good client and closing a good client. Um, so I can do that instead, at least for now. I can also see it not being helpful, as it would be another thing to feel busy but not working on the biz, helpful or hurtful thoughts. Yeah, it's something I'm going to do later anyway on the recordings and editing. If you want to send me some not good ones, Art, you can do that. Send them in a batch. I'll use them. I'll bleep stuff out. Don't worry. But it's going to take me some time to get to that. For now, yeah, if people have questions about something that keeps coming up. Like John asked earlier, how do you deal with someone who wants to know your sources? You know what I'm saying? Like the old Samson, for you biblical scholars, the old Samson secret deal, right? Um, don't tell him your secret. If Samson would have just kept his mouth shut, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't have had no problems. Anyway, uh, right now, I think you're right. It would probably be more harmful because I want people to go out and get on the phone, come back to me with those roadblocks that they're running into, because it's going to be different for everybody. There's a few common ones, sure. The biggest ones, I'll tell you right now. I'll give you the answers for everybody listening in. It's going to be urgency, most cases, and not asking for the money enough, right? Urgency and not asking for the money enough. You don't loop back. You don't loop back. Don't stick to the script. That's probably the number one, right? So assuming you're following the script, and by the way, I don't want to tell you how many times I've heard I'm following the script and then you're not following the script. When I say following the script, I'm talking Mickey Mouse bouncing fucking ball, follow the bouncing ball kind of shit. That's what I mean, right? Um, Got to do it. You're not doing that, you're going to have problems, okay? So urgency, calls are coming in every day. They got to go somewhere, and I mean right now. It's my problem, yes, but it's still urgency, right? And looping back, asking for the money. More times than not, those are the things. The other thing would be not just looping back, but urgency, and I always talk about this one too, to be fair, urgency and reassurance. A lot of times people are on the fence and they need to be reassured that, yeah, listen, man, we're starting for the price of a classified ad, and these are calls that are going to come in, and if they're not good, you're going to file a dispute on it inside of the back office. Hell, I'll show it to you right now. You're in front of your computer. Okay, here it is, and you show them live, right? It gives them the reassurance, the warm and fuzzies, whatever you want to call it. I call it reassurance. So urgency, reassurance, loop them back and ask them for the money, baby. You can't ask for it once and expect to get it. They're always going to say no the first time, maybe even the second time, maybe even the third time. On average, 3 to 4 is what is going to be the target you're going to end up hitting as you're closing skills get better. And as you get better with the script and more comfortable in the industry you're in with that script, okay? So yeah, that's what I would say to keep you on point and making those calls. And I'll definitely help you with those things as they come up and whatever else may come up. But those are the big ones. And those will help you close a hell of a lot more clients, what I just gave you, if you focus on those things. Um, Everything else is, yeah, probably too much right now. We'll address it later for you when I have those call recordings. Yeah. And if you want to batch those over to me, Art, send them all in one ticket. That'd be cool. I'll kind of group them together that way and deal with them when the time comes. Let's see. Adrian's asking, do I have any experience with talking to lawyers? Yes, I do. I find many of them to be abrupt, emotionless, and rude on the phone. Yeah, I would say that as well. That's because they're all about the business. They charge by the hour. I mean, they probably go home and invoice their children. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a joke, of course, but it's not too far fetched. You know what I'm saying? They probably have allotted time, allotted family time. Nothing wrong with structure, by the way. I'm just saying you're right. You're right on the money with that, Adrian. And as far as talking to them, the best thing, the best thing for every type of potential client is exactly what I described yesterday with speaking to Christina early on in that yesterday's call. And it's the same thing I'll tell you today, which is um, speaking to people where you cut the fat, you get straight to the point. You don't have to be abrupt, right? The reason they're doing it and emotionless, they're doing that because they have to do poker face for their job, right? They have to keep their shit on tight, close to the chest, right? They play their cards tight, close to the chest, because if they show the other side, the game is up for them, and they would be very bad at their job, right? So that's the mode that they're constantly in. And you called them at work, so they're definitely in that mode. Like, you know what I mean? If they don't live in that mode, they're definitely in that mode when you call them because they're at work. So even at home, like on the weekends, looking at briefings and whatnot, you know, they're working. So, and in that work mode, they are very much like what you just described. What catches their attention is your unique selling propositions, right? All the stuff that's going to make them money, right? There's going to be a high return on high quality, high purchase or high case intent based on the conversation that you have with that lawyer, that prospective client as a lawyer, or lawyer as a prospective client, excuse me. That's that's the focus of the communication, right? That's the focus of the conversation, and it's also why you start small. But with a lawyer, you talk bigger for sure. They love lawyers in general love nothing more than to get a ton of cases and brag to their friends that they're spending $20,000 a month in ads here or there or doing this, or I've got a guy. You're probably going to become that guy, but you have to have the conversation as if you're already that guy, because otherwise they've got that not entitlement because they've earned their degree and everything and license from the bar exam, but they have that kind of like a God complex. It's not quite as bad as a doctor, right? Because a doctor goes through 11 years of schooling at least, if not 13, to be a specialist like a heart surgeon or a neurosurgeon. Um, they really have it, right? But lawyers tend to have it, and the more prestigious the law school, then the more of a God complex they're going to have, right? The more cream of the crop they are, the more they don't want to talk to some local guy or foreign guy, in some cases, right, about things that they think they know more about, even though you and I both know they don't. And deep down, they know it too. But that's how you short circuit it, get around them. You display that knowledge and you show them that you are that guy, so that and you're giving them that opportunity to make you their guy, right? That they always talk about, the one that delivers all the great leads, right? And they do talk. They do talk to other lawyers in other cities and other states. and they will give you referral business. Referral business in the lawyer, in the legal field is actually really, really strong, really, really strong, and usually really big, right? Usually really big. So that's what I got for you on that. Any other questions? That was a great question too, by the way. Thank you for that. Um, any other questions? Let's make this last call. We're 15 minutes over. I know yesterday we went almost 3 hours, but just felt like it was necessary. We had shit to talk about, shit to do. Don't want to keep you any longer than I need to, especially not become the excuse or the reason why you're not on the phones. Because again, today's Wednesday. You got to be burning them phones up, right? Just burn the phones up. See what happens. Come back to me. Tell me what your challenges are. Hey, I got a client, but and I got two or three on the fence, and this is what I kept running into yesterday. I'll give you the tweak. You go back, you follow up with those people, and then you apply it to all your new conversations. And next thing you know, Art's going to be sweating a little bit on client count, right? Um, that's I'm just teasing Art. He knows that, but that's a very true. Very real life scenario that could very easily happen to you today. I've seen people on their first day of calling, or really second day of calling, go out and grab 3 clients in a day, no problem. You know, for a few $1,000s too, total in deposits. So higher end clients. Um, it's not only possible; it's been done many times. There's a difference between, oh, it's possible, versus, yeah, I'd make that trip once a day, every day, twice a day, every day, right? Back and forth. That's, it's old hat. It might be new to you, but it's an old hat, 100%. So, and that's good news for you, by the way. I'm not bragging. And if I was, I'd be bragging about my students, not doing that. But it's important for you to know that it's not only possible, it's extremely likely in a lot of cases. You just got to get after it, right? Yeah, I got art. I got Art thinking about that one. He's like, maybe these daily streams aren't such a good idea anymore. Oh man. Well, I went through that. I've been wondering. I even said so yesterday. I was transparent about that. I'm still thinking, are they worth it? I don't know. I I will say this. I committed to doing one a day for the entire month. I'm going to stick that because I said I would. I don't think it. Sometimes I'll change course if I need to, but I don't think that's going to be necessary here. But I will be interested to see the fruit, right? I will be interested to see the fruit because this is the first time I'm doing a contest like this where I'm around daily, and we'll see how much people take advantage of it. And I'll tell you, if people don't take enough advantage of it by asking questions, getting the help they need, putting the ass to work, right? Um, and coming back and getting course corrections and getting improvements and tweaks, then maybe next year I don't do the daily stream. We'll still have a December dash, I'm sure, and I'll still do some streams, some prep streams, some fast start streams and stuff like that, and some checkups and stuff like that. But in terms of like dedicated daily, I don't know if it's not beneficial for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Or if people feel like I'm roasting them or toasting them rather. You know what I mean? Then I don't want to be spending time doing stuff that's not going to help you folks win, right? If it ain't going to help you win, then I don't want to be doing it, right? Kind of makes sense, right? Adrian, you're committed to showing up every day. I know you are. That's because you're a stud. That's why. Not that everybody else isn't. I'm just saying I know you are. So good on you for that. Um, I just want to make sure you get, you and everyone else listening, tuning in, gets the value they need. Gets the value they need. Gets the questions answered. Get some perspective, help with the mindset if that's where you're at, um, and whatever I got to do to make that happen, even if it's go and make a funny video about the different states that William has, the different states of William. Um, yeah, state change checklist. There's Julian. Julian, didn't I mark you? Oh no, I didn't. But thank you for putting that in. There's several sessions missing from you. So as far as the running goes, you're you're kind of out of the running on that. So that's why I didn't mark you or ask. Jerry Clark, though, Bob Lee, still in the running. You know, haven't seen anything from them yet, but I'll keep an eye out. I always allow like an hour or two, like in case somebody had to come back or go away, come back. I probably shouldn't do that, but I've been pretty consistent about that, right? So I feel that it's fair because people might be, 30, 40 minutes behind on a session or something because of their work or whatever. Julian, I have you down as missing, shit, 4 sessions, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. And I can assure you, uh, two of those days, I think I did. I just gave everybody a check, but the other two, no, no. A couple of those days, you've missed 100%. There's no doubt in my mind because I go through the list and it's not like there's that many, and I always go through the comments and I read the names like what a couple times. So for me to not see your comment means on at least two of those days means that you're definitely not in the running, 100%. All right. John says one more question. Oh, Jerry was on the phone. There's Jerry's. Cool. That's good. That is a good place to be on the phone. I want you to get back on that phone, Jerry. Appreciate you. I've marked you present. You're good. Bob's the only one left. Um, John's asking one more question, William. What's your daily run rate on the number of outbound emails versus via Limlist? I don't use Limlist. I do like it. I have used it before. Uh, I do more of a G Suite with Yam, right? And that can be, depending on the account level you have, anywhere from 400 to 1,500 emails per day. But you do it in a 3 email sequence, which means you can do, if you do Monday through Saturday, which is 6 days, you can do 2 sets of 3 and just alternate every other day. So if I have 3,000 emails, for example, or hell, if I have 10,000 emails, I'll take the first 3,000. I'll do 1,500 on day one. They get message one, day one. Then I'll do the second 1,500 on day two. They get message one. So it'll be message one for group one, group two, and then Wednesday, Thursday will be message two, Friday, Saturday, message three, right? To all 3,000. So all 3,000 get at 1,500 per day. Every other day they get the email that are in the templates that I've given you guys. That plus the attached call recordings that are edited for sensitive information will go a long way to getting you some serious responses. And whenever somebody responds to an email positively, you call them. You do not email them back. You do not email them back saying you're calling. You do not email them back. You call them. Straight up, call them. Find them based on their website, find a number, call them, right? Continue the conversation on the phone. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the equivalent of us having a conversation right now on Zoom, and then I say, hey, you know what? Let's switch over to GoToWebinar and let's go have the conversation over there, and we continue the conversation over there. It's no different. Or we're walking and talking, and we're walking and talking on the way to the car, and then we continue the conversation when we get in the car. It's no different. No different. You're just continuing the conversation in a different form, in a different channel, in a much more effective and time-saving channel. So they'll very much appreciate that, if anything. It's not unwanted. It's encouraged. It's welcomed. So do it because it's going to make you a hell of a lot more money too. You're more proactive. It also displays the urgency that you need to be starting out with, all that kind of stuff, right? Closed a customer, Jerry Clark. Holy shit. Now you got to come into the Zoom room and tell me how you did it. And is that your first and all that kind of stuff. And now I gotta go make a note here. I'm gonna paste in the Zoom link to the response to that. Fucking A, man. Good job. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff gets me pumped. That is a state changer. For me, when you folks get clients, right? I know that my job's not done. I know that I'm doing my job. Does that make sense? At least for I know it's making everything that I go through worth it, you know, definitely. So now you got to come into the Zoom and tell me or tell us all about it. We want to hear all about it. You don't have to get on camera, don't worry, but come on so that we can hear your voice and tell us how you got the client, how that all went down. I'll extend the session for that 100%, man. It's fucking cool. Love hearing that. And obviously, I'll keep an eye out for the verified client revenue, call recording, all that kind of stuff. I'll get your points loaded up, get you on the board there as soon as I see all that stuff. So take your time on that. You don't have to worry about having that done live or anything. I'll keep an eye out for it. Don't you worry. Jerry Clark, closing the client. That's what I like to see. I'm not seeing you in the Zoom yet. Maybe you're having challenges. I don't know. Oh, well. Maybe I'll catch you tomorrow then. But I definitely want to hear the story. I'm sure everybody else does about your whole experience, right? You've been around a while. So what you learned, what you applied, what was the difference for you getting the client, all that kind of stuff, right? You don't necessarily have to talk about your vertical or anything. I just wanted to share with everybody the journey, right? Because it is, right? It's a journey, and everybody's in different places in the journey. And for you being where you're at, it'd be nice to, that's your first client of December Dash anyway. It'd be nice to have everybody know what you know. It gives them perspective. I'm sure you're going to get a bunch of questions about it anyway, so you're going to have to come on sooner or later, and let's have a chat. If not today, that's fine. But I will catch you tomorrow then, right? So we'll have to chat tomorrow. Cool. I don't see anything else. I could be wrong. Hold on. Let me go back to the main comment screen here. Oh, Jerry says just got off the phone with him, adding them in ring ads, etc. Then I have to call him back. Yeah, so he's busy. So he's going to call him back. He'll share with us tomorrow, I'm sure, how that all went down and what that's like and the progress and everything. But good job, Jerry. Keep doing what you're doing. Then when you get them set up and everything, do your whole screenshot thing, call recording if you got it, send that into support, successteam@ringads.com. You know the deal. And I will get you credited with the points I'll get you on the board with the points for the December Dash. But good job. Good job. Love seeing it. Okay, cool. Let's, I don't think we could end on a better note than that unless somebody chimed in and said, I got one too, or I got my second client of the day today. That's probably the only way it gets better, which can happen, by the way. It can and has. So anyway, we'll bounce out of here while we are still well under 2 hours. Hour and a half. Not bad. Half an hour over. It is what it is, right? Got to do what we got to do. All right. I'm going to bounce. I'll catch you folks tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until then, get moving, get moving, get moving. I'm here for you. And the more you move, the faster you move, the more things you do or get stuck on, the faster I'm going to help you get unstuck and moving forward even faster. That's how this works, or at least works as well as it does when you use it, right? When you leverage the opportunities like this that you have for the entire month, having me on stream. So let's do that. Let's do that together. Appreciate all of you. Love you. Keep at it. I'll see you tomorrow at 11. All right. Bye for now, guys.
Cool. You fall. Back on my shit with a new advantage. I leave it up to you to settle the damage. Diamond, yeah, I know it's foreign to him. I came from the guts of rural Alabama. Steph Curry wrist, watch with the handle. Simple motives, gotta lead by example. Not too many make it out when they doubt. Never been about bailing off of my route. Rain gang, got the city HD. Hate to see my brother die every week. Numb to your vision. My life got me too fucked up. Disrespect to make a nigga go dumb. Pillow talk. talking while you nursing that bitch and turn you to a scrub. I let prices from the plug, Bay Shore, Ocean View, I win Adidas with the boots. Niggas out here slinging arbitrage, so the money really no excuse. Welcome to the realm.